fell on the ground and I cried, pulled myself back together, and I didn't know what to do. And do you know what the hardest thing for me was in that moment? Who do I tell? Who helps me through this? I don't have a person. I don't have my person anymore. I am my person. I'm not happy like I used to be. I don't smile like I used to. All of those things are showing you that that's not where you're supposed to be. And it's giving you options. It's giving you niggles. It's giving you triggers to show you where you do want things.
Welcome to a Road Less Doubtful podcast, leaning into the parts of you that have been hidden away. I'm your host, Emily Wilson.
Hello. Welcome back to a Road Less Doubtful podcast. I'm your host, Emily Wilson. So today is a solo episode, and it is me wanting to let you in on what the last couple of weeks have been like for me. These have been some of the craziest, biggest, exhilarating, humbling, and scariest 2 weeks that I have had, all wrapped up in this amazing little package. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to summarize it really, really well for you, but I'm going to try, because I think there's so many lessons in this week of trusting yourself, of having boundaries, of remembering that it's okay to be completely you, to unlearn those things that I've talked to you about before, that I alluded to in one of my first episodes. The people pleasing that I had, the fact that I had learned to quieten myself and play a bit smaller, fly under the radar, because then I just didn't upset anybody. And these have come up so big in the last couple of weeks, so I wanted to share them with you, because even though you're listening to this now, we are 3 days post actually launching the podcast. We have gotten it to an incredible place, which I still am struggling to believe. And I've just completed my paragliding license instead of heading to Bali. So I want to explain to you how all of this happened, or how I think it's happened, and how you cannot control your life. And what's funny is, as I was about to jump on and record this, another person I follow on social media, Brendan Collinsworth, in his channel, he's popped a saying, a big quote up, and I'm actually going to read it to you. You will have heard it. You will have heard it in movies before, but I feel like it's so fitting for this podcast today. So I'm going to read it to you first, and I want you to let it sink in, and then we'll continue on with the Emily Waffle. That is all of the things. It's called Our Deepest Fear, and it's by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are we not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So I'm decided I'm going to print that out and I'm going to pop it on my wall, because there's so many parts of that resonate with me so much. It's the playing small, the not wanting to upset anyone else, the wanting people to like me, the what if I'm not accepted. And yet what these last 2 weeks have taught me is that doing what you love without needing to know why, and surrounding yourself by those people, they want to see you win. And it allows you to win, and it allows you to shine. And then you're watching these other people come alive alongside you. And it is the best feeling, to shift from a place where you felt too much, where you felt you didn't have a voice, where you kept your mouth shut because you did not want to upset anybody. You didn't want to fight. You didn't want to feel uncomfortable. You just had nothing left in the tank. Where you were comfortable being mediocre, where you were comfortable because it was comfortable, to actually having this full feeling that I have never felt before. And I'm honest when I say that I have never felt it until this last 2 weeks of pure joy and contentment and a knowing that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be without knowing where I'm going. And that is a huge thing, because going back a few years, it was easier to sit in the known comfortable because it was kind of safer there. And it meant I didn't have to question things. It meant I didn't have to question me. It meant I didn't have to admit that maybe I had failed myself in some ways, or failed my marriage, or failed my children, or failed my family. I'm not saying that that's failure. You can look at that in a few different lights, right? But it was admitting to me that, hold on, this isn't for me, and I changed my mind. And when you're going to maybe break things apart because you've changed your mind and you only have a really strong hunch that shit's better on the other side, that's not an easy thing to do. So with that said, that's pretty much what today's podcast is about. It's about having your back and having your own boundaries, and knowing that the knowing that you have inside you that says, I want more. I feel that there's more for me. This doesn't quite sit okay. I'm not happy like I used to be. I don't smile like I used to. All of those things are showing you that that's not where you're supposed to be. And it's giving you options. It's giving you niggles. It's giving you triggers to show you where you do want things. So pay attention. Are you looking to other people and you're feeling a bit envious? If you are, maybe they're the things you are wanting in your life. And I think that's a pretty good place to start, because when I first did my first tandem paraglide, it was myself and one of my teammates. We had gone down to do some makeup on the Sunshine Coast for a wedding, but we had the day free. So I was watching this paraglider and we were going to go for a walk up Point Cartwright. And I just said, if he lands on the top of this mountain, I am going to ask him if he'll take me for a fly. And he landed on the top of the mountain, said hello, and I gulped, because I was like, oh, I'll put my money where my mouth is now. And I was like, hey, any chance you want to take me for a fly? Yeah, sure, no problem. I have a tandem pack in the car. Let's go. Holy shit, okay. That was literally it. But that moment was such a catalyst for so many different things, because only a few days before, I had journaled on the fact that I wanted to know that I could meet people in random places, doing things they love, and show me what lights me up. I had literally journaled on that like not very many days before. I wanted to know, that I could meet people in strange places. I wanted to know that there was people out there that live life the way I wanted to, that I saw it in my head, but I didn't know how to get to. And so when we flew off that mountaintop and we chatted in the air, it was only a really short time. It was just the hugest of confirmations for me that I was in the right place at the right time. And I also just did something because I wanted to do it because it would be fun. And I didn't let the voices of, what is this person going to think about me? This silly girl who thinks like, who does she think she is asking to do this? Or who do I think I am, thinking I can actually step off this mountain? And so we chatted in the sky. I can't explain. There was like not a lot to the conversation, and yet it was an exchange of energy that just showed me that good people exist. And I was envious of the fact that this Friday afternoon, he's just flying in the sky. And as a kid, like the superpower I wanted most was to be able to fly. So why does he get to do that? And I went and did another tandem, kept in contact and watched his travel adventures. And my blood would almost boil. This is not fair. I want that life. How do I get that life? And so that showed me what was missing in my life. And then fast forward, we had another conversation and the question was thrown at me, like, what would you do if you could do anything you wanted in your days? And this was off the back of a few other conversations. And I was straight out, I just would want to be on the water, outside. I'd be water skiing, learning to kite surf or whatever, travel, just talking to different people and getting to know what makes them tick. That's what I would do every day. But straight away, it was, but I don't know how to pivot. I don't dislike where I am in life and I love the job I'm doing, and yet I don't have the skills in this other space. How do I get there? Money. All of those things, that chatter that gets in there and holds you stuck. And I've come across it so many times in so many different areas, but it's like at each hurdle, this noise or this feeling was getting stronger of like, well, you've been here before and you backed yourself then and you're okay. You got through it and look where you are now. You feel a bit happier. You smile a bit more now. Okay, so what if? Just what if? And so now we can fast forward. So that was April 23 and fast forward to, so what's the date today? The end of November, and I'm supposed to be going to Bali with friends. I'm supposed to be headed over there to hang out, and I was excited to join my friends and just be surrounded by good people. But I also had not had a huge pull to go to Bali. It was just that I wanted to travel more. I felt like I was missing out on things, and I wanted to be around these people. And then on the way down to the airport, I stopped in to visit these friends. We were sitting around a dinner table, and there were some new recruits for the paragliding course, and we were just chatting. And then they asked me, hey, like, if you didn't go to Bali, there's a spot on the course tomorrow. Why don't you stay and do it? And what I want to say is these are those places where you have to trust those feelings, because instantly my stomach said, holy shit, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I had been trying to work out where to do this paragliding 9-day course for the last 6 months. I had been trying to work out where to fit it around work, co-parenting. I was looking at dates in January and February, but what I had forgotten was that the exact dates that I had already taken off and allowed for to go to Bali was when this course was. So I had to trust in that moment that this is exactly where I was supposed to be. And what was it giving me? Why was this opportunity being presented right now? And to me, it was the universe putting me exactly where I needed to be. And until you start to lean into that, I don't know that you can understand that, and you probably think I'm a bit of a dickhead. But since studying my human design and really getting to know me and experimenting with that in my life as a generator, so as a generator, you are here to do what you love and find your joy. And usually our biggest downfall is that we've been so conditioned to believe that our worth comes down to what we do and how hard we work because we can just keep working, that we forget what joy is.
When starting my journey of self-discovery, I felt alone and lost. That's why I'm so incredibly dedicated to this podcast and passionate about building you a place of community to help you remember exactly who you were before life got in the way. So with that said, word of mouth is one way we can grow this community. So please share this with your friends and family. And so you don't miss an episode, I'd love for you to tap the subscribe button. Now, let's get back to the episode.
We also listen to our mind more than we listen to our gut, and it does not serve us. We're being told that having fun is not important, and yet when I was a kid, I was the loud one. I wanted to have fun, and I laughed a lot. Like I laughed a lot, and I'd forgotten what that felt like. And so in that moment, after having trusted myself on a few things where I've just felt that gut feeling and I've responded to it, I've seen where that's taken me. I did that on the mountain then. I've done that with launching this podcast. I just had a feeling. A lot of people will analyze things and be more analytical, and maybe they will make more money. I don't know the answers to all of that, but I know how I feel, and I know the difference of the person I am now to the person who didn't trust that and didn't listen to that and didn't believe that there was more. So listening to that initial feeling before my monkey mind got to take over and got to tell me that you can't stay and do that. That's silly. You've paid all of this money for Bali. You're going to upset your friends. They won't like you anymore. What will everyone else think? You've told them you're going to Bali. What will your kids think? They're not going to like you as a mum because You've just left them with their dad and you told them you were doing one thing and now you're doing another thing. How will they understand that? There are so many thoughts in such a quick time frame, as well as if I stay, I don't even know if I can step off that mountain to fly. I want to, but I don't trust myself enough yet. I don't even know if I can do it. So then I've missed out on a holiday to Bali. I've hurt everyone. I've let everyone down. Let myself down. What's the point? This is how it plays out. But if you can hold on to that initial feeling and recognize it and how it actually really feels inside, it is such a tool to play with. And what it has given me this 2 weeks is nothing short of incredible. I have gotten my pilot's license to fly, and I have learned so many lessons along the way. Something that happened while I was there, 2 days into my course and making this decision, I had talked to my friends. I had told them I was no longer coming to Bali. I cried. I felt terrible. I talked to my daughter. She's like, Mum, you've been talking about doing this for the longest time. I think it's a great choice. I was like, holy shit. I made such a big mess of that in my head. And yet you're the most wonderful kid to just be like, nah, I've seen that you want to do that, Mum. Go do it. Even when I got home, she gave me a big hug. She said, how was it? I was like, it was amazing. She's like, well, you made the right choice. This is the thing. Our mind just tells us stupid shit. We've just made it all up. We can make up a different story. So all of that had happened. I'd done my first few flights, started learning, sitting in on this course, realizing where my ego was hurting because I knew nothing. And these people had been flying, they'd be pilots, they were anaesthetists, and there was little old me. But I still did it. 2 days in, I got a phone call from my doctor. And I wasn't sure if I was going to share this. And I'd had this feeling, again, that I wasn't ignoring, that the lump in one of my breasts was not okay, and I wanted it checked. And they kept fobbing me off, but I kept wanting it checked. And I'm not sharing this for sympathy. This is pure vulnerability, and this is pure, hey, this might help somebody else. And this is also, it's incredible how my mind flipped in these 2 weeks and the strength that I've built. So we were coming back from Tiawa, and I get a call from a doctor. And he said, hey, I know we've got a follow-up appointment next week, but I just need to let you know, I think we need to do something with your scan. It's showing something really suspicious, and I want to send you off to a surgeon for a biopsy straight away. I was floored. I fell on the ground and I cried, pulled myself back together, and then had to hop in the car with these 4 strangers, really. And I didn't know what to do. And you know what the hardest thing for me was in that moment? I just sort of sat there in shock for the couple of hour drive. And then I was like, who do I tell? Who helps me through this? I don't have a person. I don't have my person anymore. I am my person. And that was a really hard thing to come to terms with, because when you're in a relationship or a marriage, you have that person to turn to. And sometimes you take that for granted. But I did have people, and I called my couple of people, and they were incredible. And so that showed me the people that I have around me. But what's even cooler than that is the fact that I was there with people I haven't spent a lot of time with, and the amount of support, compassion, humour is more than I probably would have gotten if I did have, is more than I've had in the past in lesser situation. And that in itself showed me what happens when you take a chance on you and the people you surround yourself with. So I went through this course of growing, being in the most amazing place and doing something that I was so excited to do, all trying to navigate this feeling of shit, life's really short and I don't know what's going to happen. Hey guys, if this episode resonated with you, please take a screenshot and share it to your Instagram stories and tag myself at A Road Less Doubtful. And if you're ready to lean into the parts of you that have been hidden away and start your road to less doubt and have way more fun, I'd love for you to join our community of like-minded women who build each other up inside our free Facebook group. Tap the link in the show notes below, and I can't wait to see you on the inside and travel this journey together. But what's funny is that I could navigate that in this space because I was where I was supposed to be. And I couldn't help but think I was never supposed to be in Bali to get this news. I was supposed to be here flying high. and taking it all in and learning what it was to trust myself to do anything I want to do in life. And this was just another sign that life is way too short to be okay with being safe and comfortable. And sometimes, this is why we put these here, remember? Sometimes that's why we're given these pushes. And I was a bit angry for a little bit. I was angry that it was interrupting my fun. And I just wanted to enjoy and be the best I could be on this course because I hate failing. I was a bit angry that it might use up some time and I'd have to take time off. What does that look financially? Because that's all the fears that come up around most things that slow us down. It's the fear of the what ifs. But if I just slid back into this is what I'm here doing, being present and enjoying it and smiling and breathing and taking in the conversations that were around me, being in awe of the way people were showing up for themselves, being in awe of the kindness that was around me, I've never felt so content or so grateful. And that only comes with doing things for you and prioritizing you, because I could have decided holidays in general were out of the question because there was so much chatter there even before going to Bali, like who am I to take 3 holidays this year? And my kids aren't coming, so what sort of mum are you? Who are you to leave your staff doing the hard work? They're going to think you don't care. There's always something that's going to hold you back. But if you don't show up for you, no one else knows how to show up for you. And you're not giving permission, like we said at the start with that quote, you are not giving anyone else permission to live their life to the fullest either. I have these 2 quotes on my bathroom mirror. And one is every time I let go, things get better. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, that holds true every single time. If I hold too tightly onto the outcome, I don't do the thing. If I just do the thing because I want to do the thing, it turns out better than I could have expected. And the second one is, my good girl doesn't lead. It's time to get out of line. And that one's there because I don't want to have to please everybody else in my life anymore. I think the intent to be a good human is always there and kindness is always there for me. But if I put myself on the back burner again, I'm going to end up exactly where I was 3 years ago. And I'm going to be resentful. And that doesn't help anyone. So if I get myself to the best version of me for everyone else, and they get themselves the best version of them for me, everyone wins. And I think we would all be better off if we did that. And just recognize that we each only have this one life to live. And so we can do it alongside each other, but we can do it our own way. And even tackling this podcast, seeing that I had no idea how it was going to pan out. I had no idea how it was going to be received. And then finding out today that we made it into the top 9 in Australia. Like, it doesn't even really compute yet. And it still comes back to just trust. And it comes back to just getting in there and finding the joy in it. Because every time I do one of these episodes, I walk out of the room and I just did that. And I enjoyed that. And when I talk to somebody else and I interview them, I just love the conversation. And that's where it's coming from. And when Lou and I worked together to, her in the background, when she first even came on to my team, it started because we had a conversation in human design. It started because I was like, you're going to have to work for me. I have a feeling. I was like, you're a generator too. This is what I see in your chart. I think this is what you're missing in your current work. And a few months passed, I think 6 months passed, and we had another conversation. And then she joined my team.
Hello, it's Emily here. You guys may have heard me talk about human design and will continue to do so throughout my podcast because it's helped me to expand my life using it as a tool along my journey. If you would like to take your first step on a road to less doubt, then download your own free personalised human design chart by clicking on the link in the show notes. Then, as you follow along on socials or the podcast, you'll be able to integrate this and gain more clarity of who you are and remember who you came here to be. Lastly, I'd love for you to join our community of like-minded women inside our free Facebook group. All links are in the show notes. All right, back to the episode.
And we discussed it today after showing her, like, look what we did. You trusted your gut. You trusted yourself. You backed yourself. And you're amazing. And you're having so much fun with your life because you're doing the things you enjoy. And she's learning the lessons and I'm learning the lessons. And we're creating this podcast together. And she's somewhere she didn't think she would be, all because she just trusted her gut. And she's continued to do that. And I just think that's incredible. So again, this is a pretty waffly podcast, but it is all really about tuning in to that feeling. And I just wish I could get that feeling through the screen of like touch you and you knew what that felt like so that you could go, yeah, actually, I'm okay. And I can do this. Because I always thought that there was more. And that can be in anything, because I know I've had conversations with so many women of like, yeah, but marriage is supposed to be hard. Yeah, there's going to be elements of relationships, always, that you're going to have to struggle with because you're being mirrored and reflected things to you that you need to work on. But I think everyone's version of hard is different. And so don't let that keep you stuck. You know, friendships, work, it doesn't have to look like everybody else. If you have a feeling within you that there is more to this, it's there for a reason. And I just know that now. And I'm so surprised that I can say that. I'm so surprised that I've got to this place. And I'm so happy that I've gotten to this place. And I have so much more that I want to do and learn, and so many places that I still get so emotional with. I was so scared to come back to my reality 2 days ago. I did not want to let go of the feeling of flying every day, of being in nature every day, of being surrounded by these people every day, of feeling seen, of laughing. Man, I was laughing at stupid shit loudly and I didn't care. And I was scared that if I come home, it may not be there again. And that still plays on my mind. And yet, my glider's coming. I have a small kind of plan coming together. It's all not nutted out. It's a feeling plan because that's how I do things. And it's building another brick of trust that I will get through and do the next thing. And that's freaking exciting. I want all of you to feel that excitement, and I want you to hold on to it. And I want you to know, just fully know, that you're capable of anything, freaking anything, because it took me too long to realize that. And life is too short. I don't know what's happening next. I don't. That's exciting. All right. No hard and fast lessons in that one. But again, I'm hoping you can sense what it feels like through the audio or watching the video. Go back through my socials if you need to. Go find old Emily. And I feel like there's a shift. And I just can't wait to get the messages from all of you. I've gotten a few that are like, you've inspired me to do X, Y, Z. I want them to keep coming in. I want to see your pivots, even when you don't know how to do it. I just want you to go, this is where I want to head, and start making steps to get there. And believe the power of how you feel and what you think. Because often just that in itself, something in the background just conspires to get it for you. So until the next episode of A Road Less Doubtful, thank you very much and chat soon, everybody. Bye.